Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video I'll be discussing my thoughts on the upcoming winter 2016-2017 season of anime. As we're rounding down the current season, a lot of shows are ending in the next week or two, and I ended up taking a look at this upcoming season listing quite a while ago, actually, and I started already formulating, what kind of looks interesting to me, what doesn't, all that kind of stuff. And I actually formulated a list of 15 different shows that are going to be beginning in the winter season, starting in January, most of them. And, anywhere from having mild curiosity to being really kind of excited by the PVs and synopses I've seen for them. And so I'm going to be going down the list to kind of put it out there as to what I'm looking at. I mean, I still, as always, reserve the right to choose based on my own excitement, passions for, and curiosity for any of these, as far as if I'm going to bother watching them beyond the first episode, whether I'm going to be picking them up for reviews. Just because I do a sort of first impressions video about a particular series doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to stick with watching it or reviewing it. It all is a matter of how much time I have on hand every single day, how many episodes are going to be out every single day. I don't want to get too carried away with myself along those lines. Very much in the case of this current season, I'm watching several shows, but there's only 5 that I'm actively covering in reviews. So whatever that says about me, as far as some things I am interested in and I'm enjoying watching, I just don't feel contemplative or the passion to want to talk about them every episode and everything like that. And a few shows, quite frankly, I won't even be doing like sort of end cap, overall reviews once they're done. I just don't feel compelled to. It's all a matter of whether I'm compelled to or not. So let's go ahead and jump into this list. I've listed at the top of the list 3 carryovers, holdover series that are continuing on from this previous season, one of which I will be continuing to cover. That is Classicaloid, quite possibly a top contender for my favorite of this current season coming to an end, but still, carrying on into the winter season as well. Love Classicaloid. I've also been watching Iron-Blooded Orphans, Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. Season 2, I haven't been reviewing it, obviously. I have certain problems with it, but overall, I'm still watching and semi-enjoying it, that kind of thing. I'm also watching Threegatsu no Lion, which was a show that was recommended to me, and I haven't been largely impressed with. It's only just kind of okay, and it gets a little wonky and goofy in places, and it definitely is not the high, heart-tugging, drama that it was spelled out to me that it would be. At least in my humble opinion, it's still watchable. It's still something I'm going to be continuing to watch, but I'm not going to be reviewing, obviously. And I don't even know if I'll be motivated to do an end cap on that one either. But getting into the winter season series, the first one I have on my list is Masamune-kun no Revenge, which is I have it listed as maybe. I'm somewhat curious about it. It's this like fat kid who's made fun of in school. He exchanges schools. He ends up getting himself really fit and everything like that. And he gets, transfers back to this other school where this girl, the sort of chieftain of being bullying toward him, he wants to get his revenge on her, but it looks like, a wrench is getting thrown in the works where maybe he's going to start digging her or something like that, or she's going to be domineering to him, even though he has gotten fit. She doesn't recognize him, according to the synopsis. It just kind of has me mildly curious. So I will be checking out the first episode of that. The next on my list is this series, Fuka, is how I'm hoping it's pronounced. It kind of seems like an interesting character drama, kind of a coming of age thing. This kid, I don't remember if it said he also sort of goes to a new school or whatever it is, but he meets this somewhat alluring girl, according to the synopsis. She's kind of blue-haired, kind of reminded me of Sinon from SAO, because she's got the headphones and everything like that, and there might be music involved. They might be putting a band together. I'm not exactly sure based on the poster art for it, but it seemed like a mildly intriguing character drama. It might have potential, so I have it listed as a maybe, checking out. Next on the list is Urara Mirocho, I think is how it's pronounced. And I really don't know about this one. I have it listed as Mad Dunno. It sounds interesting, the idea of these girls coming together to train as what they have listed as a Uranaishi, which I have no idea what that is. I guess they're training to become the top tier version of these, which are known as Uraras. And again, I don't know what that is. It just kind of, the character designs kind of looked appealing to me, but, we'll have to see. I really don't know much else about it. After that, I have listed Siren, which I liked the character designs. I have them listed as a bunch of cute girls, and it's listed as kind of being somewhat of a coming-of-age school romance-ish story. I like the idea of it being done in an anthology style, where I think over the course of 4 episodes, you're going to be focusing on one of 3 of the main heroines of the series, as well as being seen through the eyes of the, young man, main character, whose name I did not list in my notes, unfortunately. But, I have it listed as dunno, maybe. And it seems like it has potential. I'm curious about it. We shall see. After that, a absolute contender for review coverage is the 2nd season of Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju, known as Sugoroku Futabihen. And I loved the 1st season of, Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. So I think this one is a solid contender for reviews when the 2nd season begins. After that, I have listed Chain Chronicle. I don't know how you pronounce this, Hesetas no Hikari, maybe. I have it listed as maybe. I watched, just in the last few days, the original OVA Chain Chronicle that they did, as well as, which were comprised of a bunch of short spots, effectively. And then I also watched the first movie, which was just released recently as of the time of this recording, in like the last week. And apparently it's part of a trilogy of films. The 2nd is supposed to come out in January, the 3rd in February. And for all intents and purposes, I guess they're also going to be having an anime series based on Chain Chronicle. I don't know. I don't know if that's an OVA, if it's an actual 12-episode series, whatever it is. I like the RPG aesthetics. I enjoyed, for the most part, the movie and the characters. I'd like to get to know them a little bit more. Hopefully the anime will delve more into that. The characterization and everything be a little deeper than what you got in the movie. The movie introduces a new character. I don't remember the cat's name. I think it's Aram, maybe. Gray-haired, really highfalutin crazy with the, ninjutsu and all that kind of stuff and swordplay. And he can summon mana, and he can also transfer it back into other characters. It's really kind of interesting. I don't know what the focus of the anime series is going to be, through whose eyes you're going to be seeing it all unfold. So I do want to check it out. It has me curious. Next on my list, I have Demi-chan wa Kataritai, which kind of seems like a cutesy, funny, a whole bunch of demi-human girls, and there's one sort of huge, big moose for Archie Comics fans looking like central character. I guess he's the teacher and it's his class or whatever it is. I have it listed as maybe, maybe not. It all depends. I might watch it and not review it. It might be one of those kind of contenders. But I did like the PV. I did like seeing all the kooky girls, that kind of thing. One is sitting in class. She doesn't have a head. It's kind of like sitting in her lap. She's beheaded, So I mean, it looked interesting, looked kind of funny. Next on the list, I have Little Witch Academia, which was recommended to me by my boy MG Noxa, and I have it listed as maybe. I have to admit the animation style isn't particularly to my tastes, but I'll reserve judgment. I'll check it out. We'll see. Next on the list, I have a series called Gabriel Dropout, which I really loved the character designs of. It kind of struck me as being very reminiscent of Scorching Ping Pong Girls, which is a series I just rounded out finishing coverage of. And I like the premise. The premise, it kind of, feels like the devil is a part-timer. Effectively, you have the angel Gabriel, or Archangel Gabriel, like, is sent down to Earth in the form of a young girl who has to attend school, and it seems like there are a whole bunch of other heavenly and potentially demonic characters, but it seems like it's going to be kooky and funny, so, like, I'm highly curious about it, to see what exactly kind of a show it's going to be. It might, yet again be one that I'll watch and not necessarily review. After that, I have listed a historical samurai, possibly supernatural series called Onihei, and I haven't seen a PV as of the time of this recording. I've only seen sort of the one main character, piece of art that's attached to the synopsis. It has me curious. Historical, if it's a straight-laced historical sort of anime, that has me highly curious. I don't see enough of those, and I'd be curious to see. I hope it wouldn't be something like Drifters, which was just overly insane with the gore and the violence and everything like that. I'm sure there will be some level of that, because we're dealing with the main character who's going after these so-called, air quotes, devils, criminals. I don't know if that's like a gang. I don't know if it's actual devils. Not that big on the supernatural stuff, so if that plays heavily into it, I'll probably skip it, but I do want to check it out when it begins. Next on my list is Season 2 of Konosuba, which I loved the first season. I didn't pick it up for reviews because I just didn't feel compelled to, but I enjoyed every single episode, and will definitely be watching Season 2. Doubtful I'm going to be reviewing it, but, sometimes I'll pinpoint things in shows that I'm not covering in reviews. When I'm over on Facebook, I'll bring up like, oh, in this episode, this was crazy or whatever like that. And sometimes I have mini convos with people who follow me on both mediums. Next on my list, I have a series called Kuzu no Honkai, which is highly likely for review coverage based on what I've seen of it, the PV and the synopsis, which sounds highly intriguing. These two characters are, for all intents and purposes, taking comfort in each other. They're in a relationship, but they both hold these secret loves of someone else, and they're kind of just being there for each other, and they're not being able to be with the people they really want to be with. And that sounds like it has a lot of potential for character drama and, emotional sort of storytelling, that kind of thing. So I have it listed as highly likely, potentially. Of course, it all depends how I feel after watching episode 1. After which I have on my list Grand Blue Fantasy, the animation, which is kind of like Chain Chronicle in that it's a very RPG aesthetic kind of series, but I like that it's kind of lighthearted in appearance, and it just really struck me as being something I would really like to check out. I ended up watching in one of the previous seasons the Phantasy Star Online 2 or whatever it was, the animation, and while I watched and enjoyed that, it didn't quite live up to what the expectations I had for it and everything. This one I hope will be sort of a Log Horizon-esque, really, fun and vivacious sort of RPG aesthetic kind of an anime series. It looks like it has that potential. And the last one I have on my list is a series called Bang Dream, which is promises to be a sort of, girls band kind of thing. I don't know if they're planning to be idols or whatever it is. It kind of reminded me of Love Live School Idol Project, which is a series I had recommended to me a little while ago now. And I've been slowly going through as time has permitted, watching it and really enjoying that series. So it opened me to wanting to look at this one and see if it's any good, that kind of thing. So that is pretty much my list of at least series I'm going to be curious about, wanting to check out. I really won't know until I watch them whether or not I'm going to be compelled to do first impressions videos, and whether I do them or not, it all remains to be seen if I'll continue coverage episode by episode. While I don't sometimes give series that 3-episode rule some people self-impose, I kind of do apply that to the review thing, where, like, if I'm compelled to do a first impressions video, I'm still going to wait to see how I feel after episode 2 and episode 3, as far as if I'm going to still want to stick to reviewing it and covering it and that kind of thing. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below if you've seen anything on this particular upcoming winter 2016-2017 listing. You know, what grabs you? What do you think you're going to want to check out on your own? And do any of these, especially the ones I said are highly likely coverage possibilities for me? Again, it'll remain to be seen once they start airing and everything like that. But if any of the ones that I've mentioned have you curious as well, and you think you'll be sticking around and watching my coverage and, you know, having that conversation back and forth in the comments that I so love, let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are on this upcoming season. And so yeah, otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.